with a title like How Plants vs. Zombies Changed Video Games, and then in a little parentheses it says, for me, you may expect this video to be a long, drawn-out video, as to say, about my relationship with video games, much like the first 15 minutes of my Sonic 3 and Knuckles video, and you're kind of correct. This video probably a lot like that. I did enjoy how well that video worked for me, at least. I mean, I'm not sure how it performed, since when this is being recorded, that video is not out yet. This is done just a few weeks before this is scheduled to upload, since it's college stuff, if you would have watched the Sonic 3 and Knuckles video. Now, PvZ was made by PopCap in 2009, with a PC release. In this video, I'll be giving my thoughts on how the game holds up today, as well as a quick history and development, summary of the whole game, and my final thoughts at the end. With all that said, on to the review. Plants vs. Zombies, I feel, is a game that really touched my soul when I was about 5 or 6. Now, I played it for the first time on mobile. Now, for the sake of this narrative I'm setting up, this was the first modern game I ever really played, predating my Minecraft obsession following a few years later. Everything I was playing before, like this moment, was about 10 years old by then, and it didn't have a Wii until Christmas of 2010. So the few months in between my family getting a Wii and playing this on the iPhone was like a really weird transitional period between Mario 64 every day to Mario Galaxy 2 every day. And because of that, it holds a lot of like super sentimental value to me. This game type has not been covered on this channel so far. Now, I've covered weird Steam projects, ghost hunting games, platformers, action-adventure games, and a racing game. This is the first tower defense game I'm reviewing, and it's also sticking with the semi-game I played a lot as a kid category. This game also introduced me to YouTube. I mainly remember seeing videos about the Yeti and the Red Arc Gargantuars, and the 600,000 survival mode flag the game videos. From my experience, mostly what I remember on YouTube at this time was really just what I was interested in, so Mario 64 machinimas and PvZ videos were really about it. Funny enough, this was also the first game I played on PC. In reality, it was an iMac, so this game did change the medium of video games for me, by introducing gaming on the computer. Now, after the PC version and the mobile version, I also got this game on the DS. I also really liked this version of the game as well, since it had exclusive stuff, such as a different final boss on the second run around the game, download play, and some different minigames. After the DS version, I bought the console version, which is probably, I think, the definitive way to play the game. This version of the game had HD graphics, widescreen, 60 frames a second, all the stuff I really like. And there was a 2-player mode that you can put butter on the heads of the zombies, and the game had some just awesome exclusive stuff, such as the house and the trash bin of zombies, which is also in the mobile ports if I remember correctly. The version played for this review was the version that's available on Steam today, the Game of the Year edition. This is a very standard version of the game. It's very basic, it's just basic Plants vs. Zombies, and it has all the essentials for the game. All 50 levels, all the minigames, plants, puzzles, and survival modes. Playing this game in 2024 is sort of disappointing, since the console version of the game is just blows this out of the water. Now, I think the easiest way to play this today is on mobile, which the last time I played this was littered with ads and in-app purchases. Now granted, PopCap is now owned by EA, so it's a given there's going to be a lot of in-app purchases and useless garbage nobody cares about. After playing this game, I did actually write a review on Steam, which you guys can go see, and right now, it should still be up, and I'm going to read it word for word here. Alright, I do like this game, being it was the first newer video game I ever played, but I feel like it would just be a great service to the game and the players if they could port the console release to Steam. I'm not a PvZ maniac, but I've owned the majority of the different ports sold for the game in the last 15 years or so the game has been out, and I enjoyed all of them greatly since they all brought new experiences to the table. Maybe for the 20th anniversary of this game, they can include all different versions with this port. This game still looks really appealing today though, and I enjoyed it a lot. In total, I probably spent the least amount of time with this version, with the console version having the most playtime. Besides my gripes in the first paragraph, I still really enjoy this game, and everything about it. And it's probably my favorite thing to come out in the late 2000s. Besides my issues with the game today, I should probably answer the question none of you are probably asking right now. That being, does this game still hold up? Yes. Yes, it does. But I still have some issues. For one, the game's a lot more boring than I remember, and it's probably because my attention span has been bombed by TikTok. This isn't an awful issue, since on some levels I've just placed enough plants down where I know if I need to walk away from my desktop, I can still beat the level. Since this is like my actual only issue with the game, I think it's time I start talking about the history and development of the game, a staple of my reviews. There is a beta available to play via the Internet Archive, but I'm not installing anything needed to play this, so maybe in a part 2 of this video, if I have time of course, you can see me doing that. There are some unused zombie sprites and they seem pretty interesting. There's a dog walker zombie and some early concepts for the balloon zombie, some pretty interesting stuff. There's also some unused plants, such as the iceberg lettuce that'll freeze zombies, the clock which frees time and refresh seed slots, and the hover cherry bomb which is also very interesting, letting you places on top of plants. Plants vs. Zombies isn't really well known for having the greatest beta scene of all time, so there isn't much to talk about to begin with. The game opens with a loading screen playing the very iconic music. The screen here is that of a gravestone with the words Adventure on the headstone. You also have to name your profile, which is some pretty easy stuff. When you hit the Adventure button, you're given a small cutscene of zombies in action, fighting against the plants in the pool. When I was younger, this little cinematic always caught my attention. Since I first played the game, I couldn't beat the level 1-7. So there was a lot of mystery to everything after that. I had no idea what to expect. And this was exacerbated when a friend of mine in elementary school told me there was over 600 levels, with Nighttime Roof and Mars being playable levels. I'm not sure exactly what Plants vs. Zombies game he was playing. Either way, I still believed him. You will also introduce to your neighbor Crazy Dave, who will provide you with tips and tricks for the game. He is a recurring character in the series. The first 10 stages are on the front lawn in the daytime. The first plant unlocked here is the pea shooter, which shoots peas at zombies. The only zombie here is a standard zombie. There's also only one lane of traffic for the zombies on the lawn, with the other lanes being opened by 1-4. At the end of the stage, the sunflower is unlocked, making gathering sun, the quote-unquote money in these stages, much easier to obtain. I haven't done it yet, but I need to explain how this game works. Plants vs. Zombies is a tower defense game, where you plant plants that will either protect you, or protect other plants, or harm zombies who want to eat your brains. Each plant costs sun. In the daytime stages, the sun falls from the sky, but it's also produced by sunflowers. Each sun is worth 25, and most plants cost over 50 suns. Each plant also has a recharge time, usually related to its use in the game. Offensive plants recover rather quickly. Cheap but defensive recover pretty slowly, and bomb types also recover pretty slowly as well. Most plants you will get are offensive, each providing you new experiences and different ways to play to shake up the game. The first 4 plants you receive in the front lawn are the pea shooter, sunflower, cherry bomb, and the walnut. The zombies introduced in these levels are the normal zombie, which is the very standard, you see this a lot, and the conehead zombie. There's also the flag zombie. These stages also open the entire lawn to plan on. These first 4 stages are a great tutorial for the game. The midway point of the daytime stage, also called day, makes you play a minigame, which is good since people may get bored of the formula here and need a break. The minigame here is walnut bowling, where you bowl walnuts into zombies until the onslaught's finished. This is a pretty good minigame. It's pretty iconic, I think, and this is what I think of when I think of PvZ minigames, since most people have probably played this one the most. The next few stages are much similar, with several new plants being unlocked. These are the potato mine, the snow pea, the chomper, and the repeater. These plants are very good and I use them a lot besides the chomper. This may be one of the few plants in the entire game I've probably never used. There are 2 new zombies that you meet here, the pole vault zombie and the buckethead. The buckethead is a very strong zombie, and the pole vault zombie runs pretty fast. And he pole vaults over a plant, then he's slow. For all these new ones, I use about 3 or 4 pea shooters for both of them, or 1 snow pea, which the snow pea slows down the zombies, so you're able to use a little bit less pea shooters, and overall it does save you on sun. The stage 110 begins with 1-9. When you get a letter after the last zombie you drop, which is trying to trick you. At this stage, you're given seeds on a conveyor belt, and you face a massive onslaught of zombies on the front lawn, or day as officially called. And it's just a really good way to start the game, and it gets you very used to the gameplay format that will be recycled for the rest of the game. The next area I think is just as good and is much more challenging. So let me ask you this: what happens after the evening? That's right, nighttime. The night is a second world to say this game. And it's the same setting as day, but it's just nighttime now, and there is the additional game mechanic of graves. These graves will have zombies rise from the dead on the final flag of the stage. The music here is also some of my favorite. It just sounds like really damn good. Since the sun's down, the sun won't fall from the sky. Hearing this, you may think, well, that sure does make the game a whole hell of a lot harder, and it does. But to make up for that, the plants here reflect the challenges prompted by this playstyle. Mushrooms are the main plant for the night, and they're a lot cheaper than the regular plants. The puff shroom is granted after 110, and it's very useful here. This plant costs 0 sun, but if you place it in the very back of the stage, you may realize, well, this plant may not work, but then you'll soon find out that it has an extremely limited range. Now this is a theme with the plants unlocked here, and it's going to be very apparent with all but one. The next few plants here are the sun shroom, which gives you 15 suns, but costs 25 suns, but it will soon grow and give you 25 suns instead of the 15. The Fume Shroom is next, which gets a small amount of more range than the regular Puff Shroom, but can also pass through zombies and screen doors. This is useful since one of the new zombie series is a screen door zombie, who holds a screen door in front of him, and the Fume Shroom passes right through it. The last plant unlocked here is the Gravedigger. Now, this will destroy graves, making the final flags a lot easier. The other new zombie here is the Newspaper Zombie, who when you destroy his newspaper, he'll run a little bit faster. After you beat 2-4, you are given the Suburban Almanac, which is an encyclopedia about the game in the game, which lets you look at the different plants and zombies you've encountered, and for the plants you've caught. The minigame is Whack-A-Zombie, which is honestly really fun, and I like replaying this minigame a lot. After this minigame, the plant and the next zombie that you use and fight are the Hypno Shroom and the Football Zombie. The Football Zombie is a lot stronger than the Buckethead and much faster. Now, I played a lot of football in high school, 4 years of bench and scout D-line to be exact, but we never put a big pillow in the pads. Well, actually, hold on. What the hell is that? Shoulder pads do not look like that. I don't know what the hell I'm looking at. I'll find a photo of me in pads circa 2019, and maybe a little closer to when I graduated, but no football pads look like this. Alright, some sources say this is a shoulder pad, but why does it look like that? No shoulder pad is that big. Okay, moving on. The Hypno Shroom is honestly very overpowered, but I never find a good time to use it. It's nice to use on really tough zombies like the Football Zombie or the Disco Zombie, which is the next very cool zombie concept. The Disco Zombie dances and summons more zombies in 3 other lanes, one in the direction he's in. Or actually, sorry, 2 in the direction he's in. I always use the Hypno Shroom against him, since the zombies he summons are also under the effect. The next 2 plants unlocked here are the Scaredy Shroom, which is a reverse effect as a Push Shroom. It fires zombies from afar, but it's scared when zombies are getting near. The Ice Shroom freezes the whole screen, and the Doom Shroom makes a massive explosion which leaves a crater behind. All the plants here are really good, and 210 follows the exact same formula as 110, also following the same formula. You get a lily pad after this level is complete. You also unlock money in the nighttime stages. There's a chance that a zombie will drop some spare chains, or if you're nasty, a diamond of 1k. Now Crazy Dave will actually start to sell you extra seed slots as you play the game and as you get more money, which is really cool. But if all that said, onto the backyard, the pool. The pool, I think, is a very iconic segment of the game, and it's quite different from the last 2 areas you were in. There's 6 lanes here, with 2 of them being in water. This is where the lily pad comes into play, since this lets you place plants on the water. Floaty zombies are also introduced here, and they float on water, giving the name Floaty Zombies. The game formula here is also much of the same, but now you need to spend a lot more sun to plant as much, since the lily pads also cost 25 suns, and there's a whole extra lane. The new zombies and plants found here are the Squash, an insta-kill plant, the 3-peater, which shoots 3 peas in 3 lanes. Sorry, I said that wrong. That's very misleading. It shoots 1 pea in 3 lanes, and a Tangled Kelp, which is an insta-kill in water. These plants are really good, and I use the Tangled Kelp and the Squash the most. 3-peater I mostly only use in the pool, since I think this is probably the one area in the game where you can use him the best. The zombies here are the Ducky Zombie, also the Floaty Zombie, what I said earlier, who floats on water, and the Snorkel Zombie, who tunnels under the water and he eventually pops out when he has to eat. Now, as I just said, these zombies are both water zombies. They're pretty cool, and the Snorkel Zombie can be a real pain if you're not ready for him. The minigame here is Big Trouble Little Zombie, which I think is pretty boring. I don't like this minigame that much. It's repetitive. The only plants given here are the Pea Shooter, Lily Pad, Wanna, and the Cherry Bomb. You were also given access to Crazy Dave's shop here after you beat 3-4. This is where you can just buy stuff throughout the game. There is some cool stuff you can buy here, such as the cattail, which I'll discuss much later in the video. But back with that, the rest of these stages introduce the following plants: Jalapeno, Spikeweed, Torchwood, and the Tall Nut. Jalapeno is another insta-kill. The Spikeweed can't take damage most of the time, and insta-kill is one of the new zombies introduced here. The Torchwood doubles the damage of peas and provides splash damage. The Tall Nut is a much better walnut that zombies can't jump over or climb over. The new zombies here are the Zamboni, Bobsled Zombies, and the Dolphin Zombie. The Zamboni is the one that gets insta-killed by the Spikeweed, but also hurts Spikeweed, killing it. The Bobsled Zombie comes right after the Zamboni Zombie with his ice lanes. These arrive in a pack of 4 and are pretty weak. The Dolphin Zombie is like a pole vault zombie on water, and it's more annoying. He jumps over plants and eats them too. Also, lawnmowers don't work underwater, so 2 lanes, you're not going to have the lawnmower. To undo this, Crazy Dave's shop is open right after the minigame, and you can buy plants and upgrades, also underwater lawnmower upgrades, which is really good since they work real well if you're really bad at the game. The final stage of this area is the same as the last two, dropping the sea shroom, which leads you into the next area, which also follows the same formula as before, where it's a pool, but nighttime, but there's a twist. Fog is a night pool with half the stage being foggy. That's it. The sea shroom, unlocked earlier, is just a puff shroom that can be placed on water. That's also it. Now the plants unlocked here are pretty good. I'm sorry for my little very cynical delivery for those first two lines, but as I said, the first two plants unlocked here are actually pretty good, being the plantain, cactus, and blower. The plantain will light up the stage, causing areas of the fog to go away. It's very beneficial for the first few stages, but I usually use this a lot less once I unlock some more plants, which I'll talk about very soon. The cactus is semi-essential for these stages though. The blower is also really only used here, and maybe in some other stages, it blows airborne zombies away as well as the fog. The zombies that are introduced here is the Jack-in-the-Box zombie and the balloon zombie, which I have been referring to for the past few sentences. The Jack-in-the-Box zombie explodes after a while, taking plants with him. He's going down, he's taking everyone with him. And the balloon zombie floats above the plants, unless a cactus can shoot him down, or a blower, clover, blower, whatever it's called. I don't know what this plant's called anymore. It can just blow him away. The minigame for this area is Vase Breaker. You play this on the front lawn at night, and it's a nice break from the action. I also wanted a break from the action at this point in the game after playing it for so long, so I sat back and played some minigames and puzzles to burn some time. But I got very bored of those quickly and got back into the game, finishing all the ones I could play. I'll be talking about those too later in the video. The next few levels do have some very good plants, such as the Split Bee, the Star Fruit, the Pumpkin, and the Magnet Shroom. These plants are really good and provide a good defense against the new zombies here. The Split Bee fires in both directions. It's a perfect against the new Miner Zombie, who tunnels under the ground to the back of your defenses, then he eats up the lane, like he eats up the lane instead of down the lane like the other zombies. The Star Fruit shoots in 5 different directions, also countering this zombie. The Pumpkin acts as a walnut you can place on plants, giving them much more protection. The Magnet Shroom will also take metal objects away from zombies, much like the Miner and the new Pogo Zombie. The Pogo Zombie is a real pain in the ass. He jumps over plants and he's rather quick, so the Fume Shroom is a great way to defeat him, and that's actually not true. The Magnet Shroom is the best way to defeat him. The final level in Fog is also a bit different. Instead of it being foggy, it's a mute, there's no music, it's raining, you can only see the level every few seconds because of the lightning. It's an alright spin on things. It's really only memorable to me because in the second run around the game there's a Yeti, which I believe is a robot. This level is actually kind of strange. The fact that it's dead silent and all you can hear is the rain is kind of uncomfortable. But after you beat this, you get the Cabbage Put, and this is a point of no return in the game. The roof is the hardest area of the game. Essentially, every plant now costs an extra 25, since there is no grass on the roof. You must plant pots before you can place plants. That's a real tongue twister. But in the first 2 levels, there are a lot of pots at your disposal since they have not been unlocked yet. For the most part, the majority of your offensive plants just don't work here. Pea shooters and other shooting types do not work, so lobbing types will have to do. But you may ask, we have no lobbing types yet. Well, you're right. Actually, no, you're wrong. The Cabbage Put lobs. Sorry, I'm having a little brain fart reading this. This is staying in because I think it's funny. What makes the roof so hard is that your main offensive weapon is gone and it costs extra sun to do a lot of stuff, so essentially you're restarting. Oh, and zombies are harder and you need to buy lawnmowers called roof cleaners. So besides the difficulty spike, the new plants unlocked in the first half are the Flower Pot, Kernel Putt, and the Coffee Bean. The Flower Pot's very self-explanatory. It lets you place more of the plants on the roof. The Kernel lobs kernels at zombies with a chance of lobbing butter, freezing them in place. And the Coffee Bean wakes up sleeping plants. So everything from the nighttime, all the nighttime plants you can now use anywhere. I don't believe I mentioned this earlier, but the plants you get in the night are actually nocturnal, so they're asleep during the day. Now this sucks because some of those plants are really good and I like them. Well, the Coffee Bean, as I said, completely changes this. The most useful plant here is now the Magnet Shroom, since it's so versatile pretty much anywhere where you're at in the game. The new zombies here are also real pains in the rear ends. The Bungee Zombie and the Ladder Zombie. The Bungee Zombie will come out of nowhere and steal one of your plants, while the Ladder Zombie will place his ladder on defensive plants. And on top of that, he'll climb the ladder, so will, and other zombies will as well. Luckily, the Magnet Shroom and the Fume Shroom will make quicker work of them as he's running down the lane, since of course the zombie with the heavy ladder can run. So he also has a really weird eating animation. The minigame of the roof is just a stage where you have to use pumpkins and the choppers to beat the zombies. I don't like this minigame as much. I hate the chopper, and I always forget about this minigame. This is the one minigame I had completely forgot about going into this playthrough of the game as well, so it's not that memorable. What you do unlock here is the Zen Garden. The Zen Garden is pretty neat. You can find present boxes containing plants, and you can take care of these plants and do all the other stuff involved in gardening. I think this probably works best on mobile. I would be fine if there's a separate app just for the Zen Garden. There's also the Tree of Wisdom, which gives you tricks and ideas and cheats. Possibly one of my favorite bits of old PvZ stuff was this photo of the entire world on the branches of the tree. I wish I could find this photo, but this is the most similar thing I could find. Just imagine there's like different stuff instead of zombie heads. The next few plants are the garlic, the umbrella leaf, the marigold, and the melon put. The garlic is like so bad. This has to be a joke plant. A zombie will eat it and just change lanes. That's it. You can't even control where the zombie is going to change its lane, so it's really up to chance. You got a 50-50 shot unless it's on the corners. The umbrella leaf is also pretty useful. It will bounce lob projectiles away as well as with the bungee zombies. It'll just bounce them away. The marigold is a money sunflower. That's really it. The melon put is a really good plan. I try to use this as much as possible when I had the chance. The zombies here that you unlock, or you encounter, I should say, are the catapult zombie, the gargantuan, I believe that's how it's called, and the imp. The catapult zombie lobs basketballs at the plants to the last block into the cloak, from the cloak, like the farthest away from him. But the umbrella leaf will just bounce them away. So that the entire zombies concept is negated via the umbrella leaf. The Gargantua is the strongest zombie in the game. He doesn't eat plants, but instead he just kills them. When he's damaged enough, he'll throw an imp at you, and now the imp is a much smaller zombie, but he's actually pretty fast, and he'll wreck your defenses if you're ill prepared. The note you get at the end of this level is beautifully written in cursive, so whoever wrote this must know what they're doing. So if you've been keeping track, that's all the zombies in the game, and that's everything. So that means the final level is approaching. So 5:10 is actually at night, so you already know something's wrong when you didn't even get a regular roof beating level. Crazy Dave will start talking to you, and a bungee zombie is going to kidnap him, and then you fight the final boss. The final boss is Dr. Zomboss, and it's an all-out brawl with this massive robot zombie. The music here is also really good, and I really enjoy this battle. The fight is very simple. You get plants, and Dr. Zomboss will plate zombies on the battlefield. Every once in a while, he'll come down, and you can damage him. He also shoots out either ice balls or fireballs that destroy all plants and roof cleaners in the lane. To counter this, you're given jalapenos and ice shrooms to destroy them. Fireballs are the easiest to counter since the ice shroom can destroy it no matter where it is on the map. The ice ball is quite the opposite, but the jalapeno must be in the same lane as the ball. Dr. Zomboss will also stomp on plants, use bungees on his fingers, or even throw RVs at your plants. After you beat him, you get an amazing death animation and a white flag signaling it's all over. After this, the credits roll and you get an amazing music video. But wait! There's more to this game than you think. Minigames, survival, and puzzles. All stuff I don't want to talk about, but it's clearly been a month since a big review, so I must do it for you guys, the amazing viewer, my wonderful subscribers, and hopefully over 200 by the time this comes out. So, I will do a speed run of the games in
3, 2, 1, go!
Zombotany, fighting zombies with plants for heads. Walnut bowling, rehash of 1.5. Slot machine, gamble sun until you get to 2K. It's raining seeds. Seeds rain down, plant them and win. Bejeweled with plants. Invisible zombies with the fog. Seeing stars, plant stars in a star. Zombie aquarium, make zombies make zombies make sun in the water tank. Bejeweled twist, bejeweled again but worse. Big Trouble Little Zombie. 3-5. Portal combat, portable with tower defense. Call them like you see them. Plant 5 seeds at once and hope for the best. Favorite minigame. Bobsled Bonanza. Most annoying zombie and their cohorts. Whack-a-Zombie 2.5. Last Stand. Shitty survival. Zombotany 2. Zombotany with more plants. Walnut Bowling 2. 1.5 with cooler. Poker Party. Stupid I didn't play. Dr. Zomboss's Revenge. 5:10 and New Game Plus. Hold on, you say. New Game Plus. Yes, once you beat Adventure Mode, you can play the game again but much harder. It's the same thing, and I don't have time to play this first review. Phew. Now that all that's out of the way, I should probably talk about the puzzles and survival. The puzzles are Vase Breaker in the new mode iZombie, where you play as the zombies. It's pretty fun, I think, and I do enjoy it. Survival is a different type of mode in general, and it's probably my favorite. You have to survive a set amount of flags in different waves. After every flag or so, you have to change plants, so it's a really fun mode, and it has an endless option, which I think is really fun. So there's also a lot of extras I haven't really talked about yet, like the plant upgrades. After beating some levels, Crazy Dave's shops will have some upgrades available. My favorite being the Twin Sunflower and the Cattail, but other honorable mentions include the Imitator, the Cob Cannon, the Gatling Pea, and the Triple Spikeweed, or whatever it's called. I forget what it's called. These upgrades make the game a lot easier, especially the Cattail, since it can shoot in any lane and pops balloons. The downside is it's only available in pool stages. These upgrades work by having a base plant and planting these upgrades on top of the base plant. I really like these and they're very fun to use. Now that everything I want to talk about is done, I have to get my final thoughts on the game. This game is so damn good. This game completely changed tower defense, making thousands of cheap knockoffs and countless YouTube clickbait videos. Now sadly, this game was probably the best thing in its franchise. Plants vs. Zombies 2 wasn't as great as the first, and PvZ's Heroes was a completely different type of game. The Garden Warfare games are said to be really good, although I never played them. It's a first-person shooter. Plants vs. Zombies is a ground-changing video game. Every single plant is unique and provides new experiences in the game. In recent memory, I can't think of a game that's changed the genre as PvZ did. When I think of genre-changing games, I think of games like Half-Life, Team Fortress 2, and Minecraft, games so good that people want to imitate them and still hold relevance today. And that's why Plants vs. Zombies completely changed video games. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I had a fun time making it. I mean, college is going great and all of that. If you guys enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, comment, post it on anything. Doesn't matter to me. I think the next month should be October. I'm going to be doing Spider-Man 2000 for the PS1. I played that game a lot when I was growing up, but it was a Nintendo 64 version, but they should be mostly the same. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you like it, as I already said, please like, subscribe, comment, and all the other stuff. And I'll see you guys next month for Spider-Man.